Good morning, everyone. It's time for some action. It is time for another BRAP rant on a Sunday morning. Hopefully, everyone's having their mimosas or Bloody Marys or whatever the hell you drink. Coffee, maybe. I prefer Bloody Marys Sunday mornings. That's just my thing. But yeah, I want to do a quick rant because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in these gaming streets, as they call them. We've had a couple big, well, I should say a couple. We had a big IP release this past Friday on 420. How appropriate. And we also had some interesting things come about as a result of the release of God of War, which is again out right now on the PlayStation 4 platform. But before we get to those topics and the BRAP rant, do want to introduce returning again, Slow Mo Backslap. Slow Mo, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Enrique? Having a good morning. How about you?
Good, man. I'm having a great morning. I can't complain. It's we got some nice weather here at the DMV.
Oh yeah. For once, it's. I feel like spring showed up for 2 days and just said, you know what? No, I'm not dealing. I'm not dealing with this today. I'm out, and just like took off for the rest of the year because it got cold for like 2 weeks. So now I'm finally like,
Yeah,
weather's pretty nice. Might go outside for once.
yeah, man. I'm planning on going out. I was trying to coordinate something. I wanted to do this rant um before the afternoon. The Iron Lords ILP podcast is going to be broadcasting here shortly, the next hour and a half. So big shout out to those guys. Definitely want to check out the Iron Lords podcast over on the Tick Network or the Inner Circle. They to me have they're like my favorite podcast on the weekdays. So hey, what's up, B Money? B Money's in the chat. We have Monkey Punch. What's up, Monkey? Haven't seen you in a minute. Well, I've seen you in the chat, but I mean, haven't played PUBG with you in a while, man. It's been too long, man. We got to get back on PUBG. So, all right, Slow Mo. So, IGN. Have you heard about this IGN thing that came out? Was it Friday? I believe it was Friday.
It was Friday
on IGN. I think it was on Facebook. This is how much I really care about
Facebook and Instagram.
Yes, Facebook and Instagram. It was IGN's social media marketing team. They put out a picture of Kratos, and then they had like next to it a blank picture. On top of Kratos said PlayStation 4. On top of the blank picture, it said Xbox One, and it said, I think the subtitle was "Can you tell the difference?" So yep. clearly taking a shot,
trolling, as we would call it. That was a classic case of trolling.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a classic case of trolling. And look, it was done in poor taste. I don't necessarily think that, as IGN, as they review products, they need to be careful with things like this because, you don't ever want to come across as a platform that's biased towards products or things of that nature, because that's going to hurt your viewership. It's going to hurt your credibility, especially if you're presenting yourself as kind of a place where people can just go as consumers and get, news and read reviews on products or things they're thinking about purchasing. So,
yeah.
But then again, man, like some of the reaction was I thought was a little over the top too, man.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both, there's the one IGN, you're supposed to be a news related gaming source for all gamers. And now, if you want to be PSN Nation magazine, then go for it. You want to rebrand yourself. But until then, you need to at least present yourself as if you are a objective third party and not one who not the gaming version of Fox News. And I don't think that IGN is the gaming version of Fox News, but there are people who will say they are that, and here's my example. So you don't want to give anyone any ammo to say that you don't, that your content isn't 100% honest. And yet at the same time, I agree. The reaction was a little bit much. It was a little whiny, a little, some tears were were shed unnecessarily.
Well,
Uh,
well, it sparked the whole. Oh, this is proof that the media is biased against Xbox. I keep telling people like the media isn't biased against Xbox. If you go back to last console generation, it's the same thing. It was the 360 was the media darling, and typically, look, that's how it works. Whoever the market leader is going to get the most coverage.
Yep.
Because there's more of those people in the marketplace that want news as it relates to whoever the market leader is. And last gen it was the 360. This generation it's the PlayStation 4. And if Xbox is the market leader next console gen, you'll see the same thing. And then you'll see the PlayStation fanboys cry media bias. So it's kind of interesting. B Money says, where was all this energy when they did the same thing with OG Titanfall? B Money, what do they do with Titanfall? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, I know they made fun of PlayStation Network being down. They tweeted something out like PlayStation Network is down again, but Xbox Live is always up.
Yeah, which isn't 100% accurate. Xbox Live is up more often than PSN, but there isn't. There's kind of like this perception, and you know how it is with people just exaggerate things in one direction or another. Xbox Live is up more often than PSN, but it's not up 100% all the time. I mean, if you just go follow the Xbox Live support Twitter, that you'll see when they're having issues, and it's not normally a system-wide outage, but they have their problems, and there are times when you can't get online, or party chats not working at all. That seems to be a more frequent thing than anything else. And it's not just PSN that's always down. So yeah.
No, it isn't. It's both platforms are down. For me, it's that old debate of which one's better. I mean, to me they're pretty much. You can probably get a little more features, value-added related services on Xbox Live, but for the most part, for all purposes,
yeah, it's their thing. They're big on services, and they work on that extremely hard.
Yeah,
but it's funny because if you think back to the last generation, with the launch of the PS3, so we had with the launch of PS3, it's almost mirrors the launch of the Xbox One, except Sony was able to recover. So if you think about back then, Sony was telling people, if you can't afford our $600 PS3, then you should probably just get a second job.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's just like, are you serious? Did you really just say that to people?
Yeah, they did.
That's ridiculous. They dropped the $600 SKU with no games. And just the controller was a mess, and what were they thinking? And so
they weren't thinking.
And so the narrative became with the gaming media was just, and you know what, the gaming media, if you want to say anything, is that they need to be more even. They seem to go like last generation. They don't necessarily have a bias for or against Microsoft, but they have a bias for a particular platform. You still hear now the same people that will trash Xbox One in the gaming media will just talk glowingly nostalgia about the 360. So it seems as if each generation they pick and choose, and they go, oh, here's our favorite, and then you can almost kind of see how a lot of articles will come out, and you have clickbaity titles, to and for certain platforms. It's just like, you don't have to do that. You could be a little bit more even, like almost kind of like how in the beginning of this generation, the power narrative was a little overblown.
But you got to remember something, man. Like this is how they generate web traffic now.
Yeah.
And look, they are competing against. I mean, right or wrong, they're competing against YouTubers now, influencers.
Yeah.
So there's this like alternative media, if you will, that's getting a lot of attention that they have to compete with now.
Yeah, you got channels like Yang Ye, who break stories on the regular that other sources, more traditional sources, have to do a pretty much a recap article talking about the same things. Like, for instance, a lot of the drama that came out about CD Projekt Red's in-house development style, and how all that stuff was broken by a YouTuber
Oh
who
wow.
did the journalism to get that done. And that you don't see that too often from the gaming media anymore. Of course, we've talked before about Jason Schreier and guys like him who really get in and do the work, but it's just
He really does. Yeah.
it's not too much that you see that anymore. And so they are kind of combating the individual independence YouTube sources who do the same work.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And speaking of breaking news, by the way, remember that shit?
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Breaking news, like this is straight from the Newswire, from Slow Mo's Newswire, live from the DMV. Valve has acquired developer Campo Santo. So if you guys aren't familiar with Campo Santo, they're the small indie developer behind Firewatch, which I thought was a great game. Came out about a couple of years ago, two years ago, if I'm not mistaken. They're also working on their current game in the Valley of the God and in the Valley of God. So this is interesting. I don't I'm kind of surprised.
That is kind of it. You would think it seems always like now that Valve is out of the game making business, and they're just basically like, we provide a platform, we get some money,
sounds familiar
from that, and then we don't do anything else. Like, we're probably never going to see a Half-Life 3, Portal 3.
Oh no, we're never in
Left 4 Dead 3. Those are unfortunately great IP that's just never going to see the light of day with a sequel anymore. But they seem to have acquired Campo Santo, which prompted a lot of comments on Twitter that we're never going to see a Firewatch 3.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're still going to release their new game, which is good. And that's going to be published by Valve now. So it looks like all 12, my understanding is that all 12 members of Campo Santo are going to still keep their jobs as developers and continue production of their current project again, which is in the Valley of God. So, yeah, I mean, nothing.
And they're also going to relocate. Is it San Francisco? Wherever Valve is located. Wherever Valve is located, I'm probably
Bellevue. They're going to move up to Washington State.
Oh yeah, well, okay, Washington State. Yeah, I can't remember where they're located, but they are relocating to where Valve is. I think it's a good move for Valve. I'm glad that, because I heard Campo Santo may have been having some financial issues, and so this means that they're going to be able to make their game and not have to, cut any corners to try to get it out or limit the kind of content that they were going to have. So this means that the game is going to be exactly what the vision that they had in store for it was. But when I saw that news, the first thing I thought was, and I know, I mean, maybe some people may already be wondering where I'm about to go with this, but who could have used Campo Santo's services? Who is lacking in a company that needed financial backing? Who has the most money to do that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Who needs first party exclusives? Who needs more story driven games, single player games? Campo Santo seems to make just those kind of games. Oh, where was Microsoft when this was happening? It's just, come on. And so I had I wasn't trolling, but I just sent off a tweet to Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, and I said, hey, Campo Santo just got purchased by Valve. Wouldn't it have made sense for you guys who have admitted that you have a lack of IP in this area to purchase a company that was looking to get purchased? I don't know. I mean, it just seemed like that would have been a good idea, and then you could have just helped them finance the game they're already working on, and then you could have had that as an exclusive. But
So I'm confused, man. Are you a bot or a pony, man?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
This is a constant like discussion in Lucas Discord, so just trying to figure that out.
I'm either Kratos called me a pobot, which I thought was funny.
Funny.
Luca called me a green pony. I currently in the Discord, my profile picture is a green pony.
Yep.
So
Yep.
And my nickname is Green Pony Lives Matter. So I'm just gonna roll with that for a little while. I'll be the green pony.
There you go, man. Yeah. Well, this isn't. I guess we shouldn't be too surprised by this move, considering that Valve did mention, well, Gabe Newell mentioned that Valve was going to start shipping games again. So I don't think anyone is
really.
Yeah, that was back in March, this year, as a matter of fact, where they said that they were going to start shipping games again. So it wasn't just Valve per se; it was also. It sounds like we know their plan was to buy studios.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but it's interesting that they decided to do that now after the lead creator of Half-Life leaves. I mean, I guess,
right?
Yeah, like did I mean, I have no information on it, but it seems weird that like he leaves, then they go, oh, okay, we're gonna start making games again. or maybe it was him leaving that prompted this wake up call. Like, you can make games, you can still at least be a publisher for good games again.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. I guess I wonder what this means for Campo Santo's new game. Then does this mean it's not going to come on consoles? I mean, it probably.
Ooh, that is a possibility.
I would imagine it would. I mean, the other Valve games have made their way to
eventually.
Eventually, yeah. I don't see that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it not coming. I think maybe at some point, like a delayed release. Maybe release on PC first, and then on the consoles afterwards.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Firewatch was like that, where it came out on PC, and then sometime later, not too long, but sometime later, it came out on. Was it PlayStation first, then Xbox, or was it simultaneous?
It actually was released on the PlayStation first, because that's where I played it when it came out. Yep.
Yeah, me too. I played it there on PlayStation. So yeah. Well, I'm glad that they're getting the financial backing that they needed. I like Firewatch. I love the ending. A lot of people didn't like the ending because it wasn't your typical Hollywood ending, but I thought it was real. I thought it was a real ending that you could expect from a real life, two people. And I don't want to say any spoilers, but just
you can spoil them. It's been 2 years, man.
Okay, so there's the whole game is.
Oh, wait, hold on, wait. Real quick, guys, if you don't want to hear, if you haven't played Firewatch and you're thinking about playing it, you don't want to hear the ending, we're going to give you 10 seconds to put down or turn down the volume.
10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Okay. I've been itching to talk about this for so long. Like, cause none of my personal friends who played the game, and they just like, it just seems very boring. I'm just like, wherever you guys suck. But I enjoyed the ending. I love the ending because it wasn't your typical Hollywood ending. It had where basically there's this guy, that your main protagonist, and there's this woman who's been talking to you the entire game. And you whether you indulged in it or not, there is the chemistry between the two. There is the romance that seems to be budding, and you reach at the end, and you're trying to escape the area, and you're just like, "Why? You might actually get the chance to see her." These two have never even seen each other before, and you can tell she's very apprehensive.
Yeah,
and it's just like, well, what's going on? Like, I'm thinking, what's happening here, and then it ends up where you're rushing to get to the extraction point, and she's not there. She said she would be there, but she wasn't. And then and it's like a lot of people were understandably upset about that because it was kind of a letdown. But I get it because for her, this was a safe thing that relationship she developed with your character was safe because she never thought that she would have to see you. And then when the summer was over, she just go back to her life and you went back to your life, and it was just, it was almost kind of like a fling that someone gets into when they go on vacation or something like that. And so for her, it was never what it was for your character, and for me, that seemed like that was real. That was like real life.
Yeah, no, it was, and it almost seemed like we were kind of led to believe that they were going to meet at some point. And there was that kind of like build up. There was kind of that build up, like when you get into the extraction point, and you're like, yes, I'm finally going to meet her, and you don't, and it's like, oh,
she's not there.
She's not there, and so it was a little bit of a plot twist. I like that though. I actually enjoyed that twist at the end.
Yeah, me too. What did you think about the big reveal of who has been going around and screwing with things and kind of stalking you? Like, so it turned out to be the father of the boy.
Yeah.
And what did you think about him? What did you think about his explanation of why he's still out there and what happened with his son, really? Because there's some people who believe that he murdered his son, and there's some people who believe that it was an accident and he just took it way wrong afterwards and just kind of lost himself afterwards. What do you think was his like what happened really?
I think it was an accident, man. At least that was my interpretation of what happened. I thought it was an accident.
See, for me, initially I thought it was an accident, and then I started thinking about some things, like if I was in his situation.
But then why did he hide? Like he kind of hid.
Yeah, you hide. Like the reason why you even find his son's body is his shoe is lying in that hole, and so I'm like, wait a minute, so you didn't bury your son? You didn't go like move his shoe? You didn't go like get him out of the hole and bury your own son? That doesn't seem like, for me, if it was an accident and I had nothing to do with it and it wasn't really my fault, I wouldn't leave my son to decompose in the bottom of some cave.
Yeah, it does sound a little suspect when you put it like that.
Yeah, so for me, it was just like, I don't trust you, guy. I think you did that. So I don't know, but it's like I said, I love that game, and I'm really looking forward to that new one too. I'm expecting something similar,
Yeah, no, me too, man. Me too. So I know we kind of just went off the rails there a little bit with
did we?
Campo Santo and kind of breaking down Firewatch. But some other news outside of IGN, taking shots at Microsoft. This God of War release, people are upset that Mike Ybarra was streaming this game, and it looks like some people took to him at Twitter, man. Like he tweeted out like today's agenda: Hellblade on Windows 10 with Xbox Live and more God of War. Gonna try to fix my HDR issues with God of War as well. See you soon on Mixer, right? And somebody tweets out, "Oh, this guy plays on anything but Xbox."
It was Crack Gamer.
Yeah, and we don't mention his name really.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it was blah 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 blah. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, dude, like, why? Come on, like, what are we policing what executives play? Like, get the fuck out of here! Like, seriously, like, come on, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, I don't care what Mike Ybarra plays. He can go out there and play freaking Pac-Man or Breath of the Wild, all he wants. So his heart content. I don't care.
And I agree. He can play whatever he wants, but I do have to see both sides on this. As a executive for a competitor, think about it like this. What would happen if an executive for Coca-Cola was photographed or seen publicly on Twitter talking about how much he enjoys Pepsi?
I don't know, man. I think
I mean, or okay, let's say a Reebok. The CEO of Reebok is photographed wearing Nikes. You know, it's. I don't think Xbox fans should really care about this as much as they do, because I mean, actually, if you kind of want if you want better games, you will want, you know, the people who are in charge of making games to look at what when the competition makes great games, to check that out and see, hey, maybe we need to start doing something more like this, which seems to be the case. Where if you look at, if you follow Phil Spencer and some of the things that he said after you know, all the God of War reviews came out, but then at the same time, it's like you're promoting the competition, which is,
Man, but come on, man.
helping them.
He's a gamer, though. I mean, you know, I mean, like, I get the Pepsi comparison because I actually know somebody who works for Pepsi, and like, he can't, like, if he goes out somewhere like at you know, and they're serving Pepsi products, like, he should be drinking Pepsi products. Like, he should be promoting the brand, whatever.
Yeah, you know, and people in the chat are saying no healthy like Daniel says, no healthy person cares what Mike is doing in his free time. 100% agree.
Facts. Like, yeah, that's my point.
We should not care.
Oh, I don't care. I don't care what he's doing.
But the only person I think that should care about what he's doing and what he's saying that he's doing publicly with his free time is Phil Spencer.
Yeah, because
it feels like, well, I want to improve my brand, the Xbox brand. I can't have my Xbox people giving free promotion to the competition. He's the only dude that really needs to care about that, because his job is on the line with this.
You know what's great? But you know what's great?
Random Xbox gamer.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? Hold on here a sec. My 4-year-old just came downstairs. You want to play a video game?
Super Lucky Tail.
Huh? You want to play Mario Odyssey? We're just playing ARMS?
Yeah, but I want to change it.
You want to change it? You don't know how to change it?
No.
Were you just playing Zelda?
No.
Yeah, you were. You were playing Breath of the Wild.
Huh?
You were playing Breath of the Wild.
Boy.
Go upstairs, boy. Boy. Upstairs.
I feel like you don't have the same gravitas as Kratos.
Yeah, well, I'm not like 6'5" and like 2% body fat, just chiseled and paint over my face, you know.
Yeah,
yeah. My 4-year-old saw Kratos and I was playing, because I was playing down here, came downstairs, and he goes, is that man gonna kill that boy? I'm like, no, it's his son.
But he does look like he would just kill him without a second thought.
He's like, oh, what? Boy, go upstairs, boy. He's yelling back at me now. So Kratos isn't working with my son. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to work too much in real life. I tried to with my kids. They both try to jump me.
So. Yeah, hold on for a second. So, hey, buddy, why don't we play some you want to play some Rocket League?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I gotta load up the Xbox room real quick. You want to play Sea of Thieves? You get a ship. You can sail around. Just look at the ocean. Sound like fun?
Like the picture of cookies on.
Yeah, the picture of the cookies on. That's right. Chips away. Do you want to play Sea of Thieves?
No.
You don't want to play Sea of Thieves?
This is great. This is so great.
You don't want to play Sea of Thieves? Boy, play Sea of Thieves.
No.
Ask him if he wants to play Super Lucky's Tale.
Do you want to play Super Lucky's Tale?
No.
Is that game garbage? So yes or no?
Yes.
What about Sonic? My son loves
Is Sonic the Hedgehog a good game?
Yeah.
It is? Yes, so yes or no?
I don't want to play it though.
You don't want to play it?
No.
Hey, what do you think's better? Xbox or PlayStation?
Uh-oh.
Xbox.
What is it?
Xbox.
Oh, okay, Xbox. Look at that.
Oh.
All right.
That's adorable. Yeah, exactly. Christopher Cherry says this is literally straight out of the mouths of babes.
Yeah, no, it is.
You know, my son, I've been trying to get him into games, my oldest, and he just can't. He does he'll watch me play some games, but he's just mostly completely uninterested. Recently, he started liking Sonic the Hedgehog. My wife had old school, like the old school Sonic games on her iPhone, and he loves to play it on his iPhone. Something like, okay, all right, finally, I can. And here's an opportunity to get him into gaming.
Yeah.
So I showed him some Switch games.
Yeah.
I showed him Sonic on the Switch. I showed him Mario, and I showed him Mario Kart, and he's like, oh, he really liked them.
Yeah.
And then I showed him the actual system, and then everything just went left after that. He doesn't like controllers. He doesn't want to play anything that has a controller. He likes the touchscreen. And so I kind of wonder if like the next generation, these generations that are coming up, if that's going to be something that like maybe Nintendo was on to something with the way they kind of do their off the wall controller scheme sometimes, where they'll have like the screen that's touch screen with.
Hey, hold on real quick. I gotta address the boy. Boy, here's the controller, boy. Don't be sorry. Be better next time.
You are not ready.
Boy, you are not ready. Focus. Hey, I'm gonna ask him one more question here.
What?
Hey, do you is the Sea of Thieves have a lot of content in it?
Mm-hmm.
Say yes or no.
Yes.
It does. What about the Kraken? Is the Kraken lacking? Yes or no?
Yes.
It is. There you go. He's saying the Kraken is lacking. This is from a 4-year-old. Kids don't lie. Here you go, buddy.
Even the 4-year-old can tell when there's nothing there.
Yeah. So now he's sitting. So I fired up Rocket League for him because he wants to play. So he's playing Rocket League right now.
Yep.
There you go. So,
oh man.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, we just went off the rails here.
That was cool though. I love that. That's straight from a kid's perspective. Like just he likes Rocket League and he likes Mario Odyssey and he does not like Super Lucky's Tale. He doesn't like Sea of Thieves.
He likes the Xbox.
And he does like Xbox. So, hey, there's something for, the Xbox for Microsoft to hang their hat on. They just gotta give him some games he likes.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go back to Ybarra real quick though. But I think to your point about these people caring about what he's playing. I mean, that's just it's a
much. It's a little much, and it's a little obsessive.
Yeah, it kind of is, right? Like it's like what's like why are you guys like worried about, like, are people out there like keeping track, like, oh, he's not playing an Xbox game, like that's just it's a little nuts, man. It's just people take this stuff too seriously, and that's why that's why we like not just that person's name, Slow-Mo. We typically don't call people out for the most part.
I apologize,
or like call names out because we don't do that. Just
I apologize.
It's
yeah, but I do agree that it's a little much, and people really let that guy live. It's his prerogative, and if the company doesn't have a problem, like as I said before, I think the one person that should have any issue with that is his boss, and his boss Phil Spencer. And if Phil Spencer doesn't have a problem with it, so be it. It's how they do business. They are a lot more open with what they like. Phil Spencer actually did that with his like 2-hour address that he did at I can't remember which conference that was, but he pretty much addressed. Yeah, and that I really thought that was very, very well done. They're a different company, and I think people need to start looking at them the same way they have decided to look at Nintendo. See, Nintendo at some point, I remember back when we were younger, it was Nintendo versus Sony. after Nintendo versus Sega, and people and when Nintendo started to do their own thing, people were just like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Why aren't you coming out with the games that I like? Why are you making this weirdo system?" And it's just like, and it's Nintendo, and now people get it. Nintendo is Nintendo. They're gonna do their thing, and every other generation, they're gonna come out with, they're gonna hit with something really good like the Wii, and then and the Switch, and then every other platform they come out with will be the Wii U, or what's the GameCube bomb? I can't really.
The GameCube got outsold by the Xbox.
So. Yeah. So it's just like every other platform is great. So the next one, just kind of expect to kind of skip the next one and wait for the one after, because that's when Nintendo is going to like be back on point. But people need to realize Microsoft isn't Sony, and they're going to do things differently. And
exactly. Like people always do that. They always compare. Oh, you don't see Shuei out there streaming Halo. I mean, like Shuei's his own person. Like, who cares? You know, they're just different. Like people take this console war stuff, man, to like personal, to another level. Like, oh man, these guys should be out there fighting for us. Like, no, they're out here they don't care about you. They care about your wallet. They care about, you know, pleasing the board of directors, shareholders. They're, you know, making money. That's all. That's their focus.
It's funny because it's like there's so many free marketing interns out there promoting their brand for no additional charge. I'm like, you know, this isn't your job. You don't have to do this all the time, 24/7. 365. Boy. Boy.
But it's funny, like, you know, people like some of these people that were going after Ybarra, and people were saying, hey, like just let him be. The people were saying, oh well, we're the true fans. No, you guys aren't the true fans. Like this whole narrative of like, you know, we're the true fans because we care, you know, that they're doing this. No, you're not a true fan. You're a fanboy. Is a difference. There's a big difference. And Ybarra even clapped back, man. He started like, because people started going at him a little bit more. And he's got to the point where he's like, hey, how about that gamer score? Where's your gamer score? I think, I'm paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing. Mike Ybarra. Hey, he's not playing around. So
he's probably got the he's probably has the, well, not probably, he definitely has the resources where someone says, well, I got a 200K gamer score, you know, with you know, achievements. And he isn't his job Xbox dashboard, you know, primarily for the most part. Like, he could go find out for real. You know, someone is on Twitter kind of woofing, saying some things, or, you know, I got this gamer store. He like, turns out you're at 13.
I mean, dude, he said something to someone like, you know, where's that gamer score? And the guy didn't tweet it back. He's like, that's what I thought. And he posted like a tweet of it. I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. And he showed up a picture of his gamer score. I tell you, dude, don't mess with Mike Ybarra. You can't mess with him.
Yeah, he's man, that was pretty vicious. I need to go back on Twitter and take a closer look at that. I typically stop reading once maybe after the third or fourth comment, because then things get really weird, and you see some really strange comments, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, I'm leaving this. But I'm gonna check that out a little bit.
I just can't believe that. But you know, Xbox fans give this guy a hard time. I'm like, yeah, and he's a grown man, Slow-mo. That's the point. Let me ask you something, man. You're married, you got a wife, you got kids, right? If your wife caught you like getting all upset about an executive streaming a non-Microsoft game, she might look at you a little funny, right?
Yeah.
She might make fun of you.
My wife already looks at me funny for the fact that I talk about video games this much as it is. So, so for me to get like personal about it, for me to like get so invested where I have to go, you know, argue with executive, no, that's just, she would definitely be asking me like, do you need some help? You know, because
boy, get the ball. He's like, I found it. I gotta start doing that with him down here. Like when I start doing BRAP rants. Boy, good job, boy.
So, hey, how far are you in God of War now?
I'm like in that. I'm at the lake.
Okay, you're further than me.
Yeah, I keep getting every time I get into the game, I keep getting interrupted. So I've been playing like in 20-minute spurts, and it's really frustrating, you know. So it was either like I was actually torn between doing this and God of War will made you a better father. Hey, buddy, has God of War made me a better dad? No. He said no. Did you hear him?
Yeah, I heard him. I think he's tired of being called boy.
God of War make me a better dad?
No.
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 Boy.
Get
Answer
that
yes.
away.
That's awesome.
Hey, don't pull the cord, buddy. Don't pull that.
I haven't I played some yesterday morning, and I got up to where I defeated the second troll.
Yep.
And then I had to take a break at maybe actually a little bit further than that. I had to take a break due to the Scumcast that was yesterday. That was just off the hook. It was awesome.
I gotta be honest with you, that the one guy that was talking about like the cloud stuff,
man,
I don't know where he was coming from. I forget his name. Metal Nickel, I think his name is. Yeah. Hey, big. I mean, you look nothing. Look, like I don't hate on other people's opinions, but sometimes when people say stuff, I'm like, dude, wait, let's pump the brakes here. Let's slow down.
He's definitely has a interesting perspective, and you would be surprised about how long after the show that.
I heard.
Yeah, we kind of went on.
I heard Luca had to come back and like. She had to come back and like shut it down or something.
Yeah, she came in and was like, "You guys are still here arguing about this," and I guess the Luca voice. I couldn't get the pitch right, but and she pretty much just shut it down. But yeah. I enjoyed it because it was a little different. It was different perspectives, and it allowed, and it didn't go off the rails. It didn't get personal. You know
what's interesting? No, and you know what? Let me tell you something. It was. I think we all had a difference of opinions on Scumcast last night with regards to. Well, I think maybe it's probably the panel's probably split in half somewhat. But yeah, nobody was being disrespectful. I think everyone was just kind of sharing, their opinions. My point with Microsoft is, it's not a matter of give them time. Let's wait and see what they do. It's look, they're not new to this. They've been in the console business now for 16 years, going on 20 years shortly.
Exactly.
And so if you look at what they've done historically, they've never really invested internally in first party a lot. It's just not something they've really done a whole ton of. And that's just history. That's looking at facts.
Yeah.
And you look at what they've typically done to put out exclusive content. It's always been partnering with third-party developers,
or having second-party
games. Yeah,
but they published it, but they don't really have a relationship where the studio, the developer that made it, is their exclusive studio. It's
exactly
those are the kind of games that they relied on in the last gen, and having a system that was the 360 was just easier to develop on than PS3, and that was way to their benefit. And when things were a little bit more even now, and they made a lot of mistakes, the Kinect really screwed a lot of things up. It just wasn't the same. Hasn't been the same this generation. I do agree with you on that, and I also kind of feel that people need, now that they are focusing on developing first party, and they have said this publicly, we do have to give them a break at some point, and it can't be the constant just day belittling of them and the lack of games. I think it was I'm about to say Xbox Addict, rest in peace, but it's not him. It's Gaming Addict that was on it.
Addict,
who said that we have to give, you can't just magically materialize a AAA game overnight. It takes time, and you have to allow that time to to happen. And so I think out of anything, I know people hate the whole wait to E3 meme, comment, but if there was ever a time where it's just wait to E3, then this is it, because we don't really know what else is coming out there. And there people have said, well, Phil Spencer and Xbox held everything close to the vest once they got the backlash for canceling Scalebound and Fable Legends. So, like, if that's the case, that means they've been making games, they've been working on games, and they'll have a lot to show for this year and next year, right? Maybe. So I think it's been said over and over and over again.
Yeah,
they lack this, and that they need to work on it. And
well,
so it's
and I think, and I don't mean to interrupt Slow-Mo, but I kind of do want to transition back to God of War. But I think, I think anytime like we have releases like this from Sony, and even Nintendo to an extent, it's only that deficiency they have is only further highlighted even more. But I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, time will tell. But I typically look at a company's history to kind of get an idea of what they might do in the future, and that's where I get my perspective from. But but no, God of War, man, great game. I know we're talking about it last night. Is this game the game of the generation? And I was like, yeah, and I know we disagreed with that. Some people are like, well, how can you say that if you haven't finished it? For me, it's like that vibe that I get. Like, I got the same vibes from The Witcher 3. I'm going to sleep, I'm thinking about playing this game. I wake up like early to try to play this game before my kids wake up, because I'm so hooked. I'm so hooked to this game. And like everything this game has done is perfect, like in the sense of the fighting. I saw somebody tweet out the fighting is very repetitive in God of War. I'm like, you need to learn the combo system. Once you do that, it's not you won't get that sense of the game being repetitive.
Absolutely. I agree completely, especially when you start unlocking more skills.
Yes. You start unlocking more attacks with your axe, and it's the story and just God, how beautiful like the game looks, man. Like, I'm like, what wizardry is in this game? Like, what do they do? I mean, and I'm playing on a base PlayStation 4 with HDR enabled. By the way, I don't think that gets talked enough about. I always thought that was a great thing that Sony did, where, if you're someone like me who owns a 4K TV, you may not want to upgrade, but we're going to give you the benefit of HDR too if you have an HDR capable TV. Because look, I've always said this: HDR is 4K aside, HDR is the difference maker.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the one thing that primarily console only players can say to PC primary players and say, hey, we got HDR. Because you don't really have too much of that in the PC arena. I agree. This game is, and I agree about how excellent this game is, and I can tell that based off of like my 5 hours playing. But I do agree that I do agree with the other side that was saying, you gotta finish the game first. It could always be. I recall playing Mass Effect 3 and saying, this is better than Mass Effect 2.
I never thought that Mass Effect 3 is better than 2.
Really?
Yeah. I never got the same vibes. Two for me is the best in the franchise.
Well, to me, 2 is the best. 2 is for me, is the top 5 game for me personally, like all time. Is Mass Effect 2. But as I was playing through Mass Effect 3, I'm like, oh, they improved the cover shooting mechanics.
No, they definitely did. No, they did.
They improved the skills. I thought your squad mates weren't as good as 2, or they weren't as interesting as 2. But then I enjoyed the fact that if you had squad mates that survived 2, that they would show up again and you could see them again. I thought everything was great all the way up until the ending. And even though it's a very, very, very good game, the ending ruined what could have been a excellent game of the generation kind of game. So for me, it's just always like I don't know. So many people have finished God of War at this point, that if there was really something like that was going to, be a game changer, that someone would have mentioned it at this point already.
Mhm.
But I just still kind of feel, let me finish it first. I'll finish it first before I give my official how I feel about it. But so far, I like it better than Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, no, I do too. I like it a lot better than Horizon Zero Dawn, and not to take anything away from Guerrilla Games and Horizon Zero Dawn, but I just think the voice acting's better, the music's better. I enjoy the combat much more in God of War than I do Horizon Zero Dawn. Obviously, there's a lot of influences from Sony's first party in this game. The obvious being the relationship between Kratos and his son, and Ellie and Joel and The Last of Us. Now, I guess when I finish this game, it's probably we should probably come back and have a spoiler cast and maybe discuss, which of the two games have the better, like, I guess pulled off that relationship better between adult and child in the game. So because that'd be interesting, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, Ellie's not Joel's daughter, but in some ways, because of what happened early on in the game, he kind of takes on that. He never mentions it, but I think you could tell he kind of takes on that father figure role for her.
Yeah, and it makes complete sense, and just you have to give a shout out to Sony for having these kind of games where the characters are so multidimensional, and they have so many layers to them, and you can think back after you finish the game. Like I expect with this game to be kind of like how when you finish The Last of Us, and you really just kind of are very introspective, of it for a while, because you have to really kind of just sit back and think, wow, and then and over time you start to uncover some things that just weren't so apparent initially when you played it, but upon further maybe further a replay or just further thought, you realize, oh wow, I kind of missed that. I didn't realize this, and it's always about how interesting those characters were, how they had so many layers, and what their motivations were really about. Yeah. That would be a great idea to do a spoiler cast on this.
No, we definitely should, man. Hold on for a second. Boy, what do you want to play, boy? You want to be the orange team? You're trying to be the orange team, and that is orange. That's orange. Boy, it's orange. Learn your colors. Yes, it is, boy.
No, it's not.
Boy. Hey, you want to play some Sea of Thieves? Right? He wants to play Sea of Thieves now. This should be interesting.
How long will you want to play it?
I figure Sea of Thieves. He's just hop in the boat and just drive around, I think, right? Easy enough.
Yeah, but driving that boat is not it's not a simple task.
It's funny, man. Hey, Chief, tell me what's going on. Yeah, but it's a great game. I don't want to spoil too much, but I think everything, if you look at like the things that they've pulled off in that game, I mean, it's almost to perfection. Combat, narrative, music. I'm not playing it on hard.
You doing it normal?
I'm doing normal, yeah. I don't have time to play it on hard, man.
Yeah, I almost went to the highest setting, and then I saw where if you couldn't change it, so I went one step down. So I'm in between. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm in between normal and God of War setting.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. So it's I've had my frustrations.
You had your frustrations.
Yeah, I've died a couple times and just kind of just like looked at the game like, wait a minute, like it's like, hold up, I kind of hurt my pride there for a second. Let me sit up and make sure I finished this part, because I just got mollywopped.
That's funny.
But it isn't too challenging where I'm not enjoying myself, and that's what I really didn't want to happen. I don't really care too much about getting trophies for beating stuff on the highest setting, especially if I'm more interested in the narrative and the characters and really seeing, the story play out.
What's interesting is I think typically with a game that's story driven, obviously the focus is always the characters, the development between the development of the characters, the dialogue. We talked about like Firewatch earlier as a walking sim, but that was a very narrative driven game. And typically, like the other pieces or other parts of a game typically suffer because they're not the focal point.
Yeah.
And you don't see that here. You see that there's it's a complete game. The combat's solid. The worlds, the puzzles are great. Like they're not too challenging. You're not like racking your brain and like cursing at the TV because you can't figure out what's going on with the puzzle. So I found that to be pretty rewarding in a way. That they didn't make and they actually include the use of your battle axe to solve some of these puzzles, which I think is kind of cool. Which also kind of helps helps you with your combat.
Yeah, especially with the when you have to unlock a chest and you have to find the three stones, to throw your axe at. Hey, did you go through a portion of time where you just like threw and recalled your axe over and over and over again just to see that effect and and how like your controller will vibrate a little bit once the axe comes back to your hand? I think I did that for like a good 2 to 3 minutes.
I played around with it too, man, because just to kind of see the axe, like how you would throw it and how quickly it would come back, and then like how like it would feel coming back to your hands. Yeah, I mean, even like even the combat feels very weighty at times when you're using like your power attacks and stuff. Which I was kind of surprised because I felt like I was kind of surprised given like the PlayStation 4 controllers. I feel like they're not as good as the Xbox One controllers in that regard.
I agree 100%. Xbox controller. I always prefer Xbox controller over PlayStation, but this game is you don't think about the controller at all when you're playing it. You don't think about
you really don't.
Wish you the Xbox controller. That kind of thought never comes to your mind. Another thing and talk about the axe. You ever missed hitting an enemy with the axe, but then as you recall it, it comes back and hits them?
Yes, I have done that. Yes.
I love that.
That's awesome. So when you miss them, you're like, oh, and you recall it, it comes back backwards. It hits them.
Yeah.
Best.
Excellent.
Yeah.
This game.
It's interesting, man. As you hold on, what, buddy? Boy. He's like looking at me. He's playing Sea of Thieves right now. So, well, yeah, man. It's I'm looking forward to the end game and beating it. So, but hats off, man, to Sony Santa Monica for doing this. Look, and I've said this like I feel like a million times already. They took a clear creative chance risk to do this game. Sony didn't want them to work on this game per se. Like this was something that Sony said, hey, if we were to do another God of War, you need to go back to the drawing board. And
that turned out to be an excellent decision to really push them, a little harder.
I think it's a lesson learned, man, that other first party publishers or developers who are working on, franchises that they've been only working on for years, hint. I think that's something that people can learn from.
Absolutely.
So,
another thing that kind of surprised me when I first saw the extended God of War footage, it was like 8 minutes of gameplay. After that, I didn't look at anything else. So I knew like I'm sold on this game. I'm getting it day one. I don't want to look at anything else and get spoiled. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, they must be using the Decima engine that Guerrilla Games created, and it's not. It's not the Decima engine.
So what engine are you using? Because I thought it was a Decima engine.
If I forgot the name of it, I need to look that up. But it's not the Decima engine. The Decima engine is only used in what was the other? Was it Red Faction? Was that the other Guerrilla Games?
No, no, I
Not Red
thought.
Faction.
Well, they're using it for Death Stranding.
Yeah, they used it in
They
Death Stranding. They
yeah,
used it for Horizon Zero Dawn, and it actually was used in Until Dawn, but that was a much, I guess, older version of it, and it's improved a lot since then. But I was completely shocked that God of War isn't using that, which just goes to like, wow, like these studios are a mark above everyone else.
I mean, look at the look at the transition from cutscene to in game. I mean, it's so seamless.
It was that first boss fight. It was amazing. You're fighting a guy. Oh, I hope you don't hear my kids in the background.
No, that's okay. You gotta yell, boy.
Boy.
You do better than I do.
You transition from fighting this boss to a scripted portion of the fight that is so seamless. I'm still pressing buttons for no reason.
Me too. I was just like, and then when you're supposed to press buttons, you're like, oh shit, I gotta press buttons.
Yeah, because then like now I'm getting punished. And I didn't realize that like it's no longer scripted again. Amazing. That's
don't say that word.
That needs to be implemented in more games. Like I need more studios to say, okay, let's play this portion of God of War. How do we do this in our game, and how do we improve it, or like how do we build upon it? Because that's going to propel gaming forward. That's the kind of stuff that we need. And I said it yesterday on Scumcast. Like I don't, when people say, oh, some game it's got Dark Souls elements, or it's got elements of this other game, or it's copying whatever game. Hey, if that game is awesome and they implement it correctly, copy away, because it's only going to benefit us as gamers.
No, absolutely, because and it's not easy to copy. There's, I mean, how many other studios have tried to copy things that other games have done well and executed it poorly?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, oh boy, oh boy,
I had to say it with his radical heights.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, look, on that note, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this BRAP podcast. Slow-mo, man, thanks for joining me again. It's always a pleasure having you on.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad to be on.
Yeah, man. And everyone, definitely want to head over, take like a 20-minute bathroom break or whatever you got to do. And a 20-minute bathroom break, Jesus. Take a quick break and then head over to the ILP, the Iron Lords. They're going to go live at 1 p.m. So definitely, boy, get on the ship, boy. It's like I can't. Yeah, definitely go over to the Iron Lords, check them out. Great podcast, and they're gonna have some really great topics tonight, or today, I should say. So definitely check those guys out. They go live 1 o'clock in 20 minutes. Run over there, grab a drink, tell Lord Cognito, Lord King, tell them that BRAP sent you. So all right, and shout out to everyone in the live chat. Always live chat's always positive, always popping. So definitely appreciate you guys stopping by in to say hello. Boy, get on the ship, boy. He's like underwater. He's playing Sea of Thieves. He's underwater. He's like, I don't know how to. Boy, swim. You can't swim up. Yeah, you can. You can swim up. I'm gonna have to show him how to play Sea of Thieves. It's hilarious. Oh, now he's swimming. He's doing it on his own. There you go, bud.
There we go.
Boy.
Sink or swim.
Focus, boy. So, all right, everyone. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Remember, head over to the Iron Lords podcast, which is going to go live shortly, and say hello to those folks. I'll probably be there in the live chat. They'll have great topics tonight. Or I keep saying today. So, and check out Luca's Scumcast from last night. Really good conversations on Scumcast. So me and Slow-Mo were part of that.
It was actually a two-parter. It
Yeah.
was
Luca
in the comments.
Luca's been quiet. She's probably there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. What's going on, Luca?
It was actually a two-parter. It was a good hour and 15 minutes, and Luca had to go because she needed to get her hair and nails did, and then but we weren't quite finished, and so we later on in the day did another, what was it, hour and a half or more, and it was pretty good. I loved it.
Yeah, no, it was good times, man. Good times. So, boy. So, you're in the ship. Oh, no, you're under the dock. All right, I'll help you get it. With fish that are just standing there, not even moving.
Really?
Yes, there's fish here under the dock. He's swimming by them. They're not even moving.
Yes, because that's exactly how fish.
That's what fish do in real life, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't say anything else about this game. I just can't. I'm
the fish are lacking. Like the Kraken.
For me, it's a disappointment because it's rare too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So we are out. Thank you for checking out this BRAP Rant. Remember, hit that like button if you haven't done so already. And we'll be back this Wednesday at our regular scheduled time at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And who knows? There may be another BRAP Rant in between then. But other than that, everyone have a great rest of the week or Sunday. Head over to the ILP, the Inner Lords podcast, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace.
Later.
Lucas says bye.